Of the background of this. This is called the Egerland Polka, and the Egerland is an area in the Czech Republic, which in wartime was known as Sudetenland. So this was an area that was mostly inhabited by the German-speaking Czechs, who might have been there since the 14th century and lived quite happily with the Czech-speaking Czechs. And they were all around the bottom of Czech and around the edges, as it were, there. And of course it became infamous because that was where Chamberlain and the French Prime Minister conceded to Hitler in 1939 that the Germans could move into this area, and you know, he came back from the conference saying with a piece of paper, you know, that he had peace in his time and so on. So at any rate, of course the Czech Republic was only formed in 1918 after the First World War. Prior to that it was under the Austrian, it was there under the Austrian, yeah, and anyway, and in fact it's quite interesting, a lot of these countries are now celebrating their centenary, because a lot of these countries, like the countries we're going to in this tour, they were all formed after the First World War as such. They may well, like Lithuania, Latvia, even Poland. So they were going for about 100 years, those countries. But that's not to say they didn't exist a long time before, maybe with a different name. And the Czech Republic was Bohemia up until about the 17th century, before in the Battle of the White Mountain the Catholics beat the Protestants, part of the 100 years. Yeah, or I think that might be wrong there, but then it became officially German-speaking, ruled from Vienna as such there, as part of the empire. After 1918, the Czech came in as a language, but then when Hitler came in and then took over the whole of the Czech Republic, it all becomes Germanised again, and because there's so constant this thing. And in 1945, when the Russians moved through and so on, the Czechs had had enough of the Germans, German-speaking Czechs. There's nearly 4 million of them, and they threw them out. You know, huge, what we would call ethnic cleansing nowadays. And all these people went over to, mostly they went to Germany and settled down. And many of them, of course, now become very successful Germans, as it were, there. But they hang on to their music and their culture and their dance, because they're all, in a way, they're exiles. And so there's a museum, and there's people living there, and so on. And I went to stay with one of these families that got thrown out, and they're a lovely music family, superb musicians. Their name was Hess, anyway, and that's where I got this tune from, the Egerland Polka.
Thanks for the background.
Long story.
Yeah.